Hello, this is One Night Ultimate Werewolf. This is Simon Lavender, Amass Games, and this is a Bezier Games, or a Bezier game. I haven't heard of this company before I played this, but I've played this game many times, and other games in the series, both in One Night and other games by Bezier Games. Ted Elspak, I believe, was the guy who's done this kind of version with Keisha Oki, I think the original person who did it. Yep, it's popular. This is a sort of a newer-ish print, I believe. And I'll just kind of open it up and show you some bits to do with it. It's a social deduction game, and it's used typically with an app. I used to play it before there was an app, as I understand it, and people were very good at memorizing what to say. And now I'm not saying you need to be lazy or anything like that, but it is handy to know what's going on. So apart from these things which we'll come on to, we've got contents, which basically shows you what comes in there, and it tells you about the roles, and then basically getting started. This is important for your first few games, as it tells you the setup of who many to use. So the scenario is basically there's been a village, and there's some werewolves, and they're eating people at night time, and you're trying to stop people. I'll briefly go through some of the roles. Some people don't like, for example, the doppelganger, because they look and see somebody else and take on their ability. It's a shame. I think it's a good role. I know it can add some too much confusion, but that's the whole point. So you shuffle these around, and then basically number of players plus 3. That's because 3's in the center. So obviously I will choose to chuck in sort of some classic characters. And we want to chuck in the robber, and we want to chuck in, yeah, I think those are the best people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just take out, yeah, those people. Right, so we've got our people. So they're going to be shuffled up, and they're going to figure out what's going on. So then everybody closes their eyes. The werewolves open their eyes. The werewolves look at each other. So in this instance, there's just one werewolf and there's 2 potential werewolves. But in this instance, they just see themselves. Oh, and let's have this person over here. And therefore, they see nothing. So then they close their eyes again. The next person wakes up, which is normally the seer. So the seer, this is where I need to check where everything was. May have been over here. Or did I not get out the seer? Never mind. So you then have, say, the seer. Now, if that was in play, they basically can look at 2 other people's cards, or one in the center, or no, one other person's player card, I think, and one in the center. The reason that's useful it's a may do action, but those who say they're not going to say they did anything isn't very good. No, you can look at 2 in the center cards. That's why that's useful. You then have the robber, who basically then takes somebody else's thing. So let's say it is, the werewolf, and becomes that. So now they're the werewolf, and they don't know what they now are. You then have the troublemaker. So the troublemaker then does something, and they're going to swap 2 other people's cards. So they say swap this player with this one, and this player was the villager, which means they do nothing an entire night, which can sound a bit dull. Also in a game like Avalon, but yeah, not knowing anything is interesting. And I've just spotted, I've never seen this before, it's kind of weird symbol down there for werewolf. So, and these guys in the center don't do anything. This basically meant they couldn't sleep. They, I think they just wake up and see who they now are, because they could have been swapped around. So then you've got, then the timer starts, and you've got, say, 5 minutes to try and figure out what's going on. Now, you'll never know everything, which is what it's a social deduction game. The point is, of course, this person thinks they're a werewolf. So they say, oh, I robbed this person. And they say, because they claim to be a villager, so I'm now a villager. And they say, oh, well, I wasn't a villager. I was actually a werewolf or something, which means, obviously, they are now a werewolf. But they won't say that because they can't be certain that they actually did rob them. So that's why it's a game you do want to play more than once, and that's basically my review to do with you won't like it perhaps the first few times you play it, or you want to play it again. But after those 5 minutes, you're then going to go 1, 2, 3 and point. The person who gets the most votes is going to get shot. If the person's a werewolf, then you win. The alternative is if nobody thinks there's a werewolf, everyone points to the left, so basically nothing happens. And because, as initially I laid them out, they're werewolves in the centre. The tanner, he basically skins animals for a living. He can't stand what he does. He wants to get shot, which is a bit bleak. And for that reason, yeah, he is going to be, if he gets shot, he wins. But yeah, this is a game that plays 3 to 10 players. It's a big, wide number. People generally don't like it as a 3 or a 4. I think 4 is okay, but I think, yeah, 5+ is good. It only takes 10 minutes, of course, of setting stuff up, choosing stuff, and they say it's for 8+. So some other characters, you've got the hunter. He wants to, he doesn't mind being shot, shall we say, because he can shoot somebody else. So he really needs to be paying attention. But of course, you don't know who, if you're going to end up with the hunter. And from what I can recall, the drunk doesn't look at his role. The CA should have most games because obviously they're very valuable. So yeah, you're trying to help them. And by all means, if you find that the werewolf's never winning, chuck in an extra werewolf, take out one of the characters. You need to have both these guys in play. They basically, know each other, and they're trying to sort of work together. So they back each other up. But what happens is people might say, well, I'm a mason, I'm a mason. So you have 2 werewolves claiming to be masons. And what you're doing is when you say you want to be a role, you basically take a character stating, who you think you are. The trouble is nobody's going to claim this, but someone might claim to be a troublemaker, and then somebody else claims to be a troublemaker, and then someone starts, chucking these around. So yeah, this is the base game. There's also Vampire, which I can obviously explain to you about as well. I haven't played it yet. Daybreak I've played dozens of times, and there's also One Night Alien, which I think is very good for what it is, involving cow tipping, which I don't condone, but it basically means you're able to prod someone, and you're able to say, yep, I was prodded at night time. Now, the minion, I don't recall seeing in here, which I thought was, oh, here it is, off to the side. He works with the werewolves, and basically he knows who they are. So everyone closes their eyes, the werewolves open their eyes, they look at each other, they close their eyes, werewolf stick out your thumb, and the minion will open his eyes and have a look at them. Then minion closes his eyes, werewolves pull back their thumbs, and then everybody else does something else. Now we want to make sure his people don't have their thumb like this, because you'll hear that. And also I've played in games whereby people have stated, werewolves open their eyes, okay. Now you don't use the word okay, so that's basically what happens. And so with the drunk, just to clarify, when he opens his eyes, he'll take one of the centre cards, but he doesn't view his new card. So lots of roles to claim to be. You want to be cautious when you choose to claim them. I think one of the funniest games I've played was when somebody had a text or something had to leave, and they'd just been dealt out the characters. So everyone said, okay, well, we'll keep him in play, shall we? So he hadn't even seen his character, I think. He had to leave. After 5 minutes, we weren't certain, so we pointed at that person, or the person's character. Turned out they were the tanner, so we all lost and that person won. So I once tried that, walking off, and yeah, they picked on me, and they thought it was stupid, the fact I walked off mid-game. So, goes to show. Lovely small box, and obviously great artwork too. Great voice by Eric Summerer, who I've met, great guy too, as I just said. And as I say, transporting around for about 200 grams isn't bad at all, as long as you're obviously not going to be turning in something when it's a full moon, which it is in fact tonight. Thank you.